Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about the series Black Snow. This is an Australian production currently streaming on Amazon Prime, among others. Black Snow tells the story of a cold case, the murder of a teenage girl, which took place 25 years earlier in the town of Ashford, Queensland, in Australia. The town of Ashford is a small town, and it's largely agricultural based, the main industry being sugarcane and the mill which refines it. It's a really interesting series because, well, for me anyway, I don't know a whole lot about Australia. It's a country that I've long admired. I do know that it has more animals that can kill you than any other place in the world. Probably not something they put in the tourist brochures. But the history of Australia is something that's for the most part unknown to me. I think we're all familiar with the idea that Australia was originally a penal colony for Great Britain and they shipped off their undesirables there. But it became a country in its own right and has been for many, many decades now. Unfortunately, it also has its own dark side to it, and one of those is explored in this series. Although the story of the murder is complete fiction, the background of it involves South Sea Islanders, and they are a group of people from 80 different islands in the South Sea that were essentially kidnapped and basically indentured, almost slavery. And this occurred between, I think, 1864 and 1902, if I recall from what I read. They were treated horribly, paid very little, if anything, and really were ripped from their homes terribly unfairly, all for cheap labor for the sugarcane industry. And although this story takes place in current times, and of course 25 years earlier, which would be 1994 per the series, that community, the South Sea Islander community, still feels the impact of what had happened, almost 100 years earlier to their people. And although they are Australian, many of them have never even been to the islands of their ancestors. They still feel a deep connection, both personally and spiritually, with their homelands. So again, I found that a very interesting backstory to a lot of it, and the young girl that is the murder victim and central character to this story isn't herself a South Sea Islander. The detective assigned to this case is James Cormack, and he's played by Travis Fimmel, which is one of the great names in acting. I just love that name. Viewers may be way more familiar with him from the show Vikings, where he played the lead character for, I think, 5 seasons, Ragnar Lothbrok, and based on a real character who actually united the many different tribes of Vikings back in the early 900s, I believe, in Scandinavia, and also led quite a few successful raids into England. Anyway, this character, Detective Sergeant James Cormack, of course, no good police drama is complete unless the lead investigator has his own demons, and Cormack certainly has those. But he also approaches his investigation, and maybe because it's a cold case, maybe it's an Australian thing, it's a little different from what we're used to with North American police shows. He's got a very light touch when it comes to interviewing witnesses and possible suspects. And one of the things I love about this show is everybody's a suspect. And just when you think somebody's been eliminated, they say or do something which makes them, at least to the viewer, suspect again. So it's a real whodunit, and it's done very well. But the sergeant's approach to everybody is quite laid back. He's a very affable character. He doesn't seem to get excited. He's not bothered when people start getting huffy to him, but he is driven, and in his own moments when he's back in the police station and he's working with, you know, the inevitable board with the pictures and whatnot and trying to draw timelines, you can see that he is incredibly methodical and patient and deeply, deeply invested in solving this crime. Cold crimes are important to him, and when you watch the series, you'll understand why. As I said, I really enjoyed this series. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know whether there will be a second season. The first season has 6 episodes to it, and I've watched 4 so far. So it's hard for me to say whether there will be a second season or not, perhaps. I think it would make a terrific series, and they could certainly get more than 1 season out of it. I wouldn't want to see them milk it for too long. Maybe do, 2, possibly 3 seasons most. Afterwards it would get a little bit stale, but for now, for the first season, absolutely. If you enjoy good police procedurals and something a little different, I can't recommend this enough. Let me know what you think. Have you watched the series? Have you even heard of it? Does it interest you? I'd love to hear your opinion. As always, thank you for watching, and please click like and subscribe. Cheers!